Okay, we're live on the YouTube. Let me just check the Twitch real quick. All right, I am getting a notification that we are live, so let me just go ahead and just double check to confirm.
Yeah, it says on my phone that you're live.
All right, cool, awesome. In that case, we'll go ahead and start this real quick. How's it going? It's your boy Josh alongside my
Rio
co-host Rio here, and of course we have some of our lovely guests over here. Two of them that just popped up, Sydney and Kelp. But before I let them, and of course before I introduce everybody in, actually I'll go ahead and bring them up first since they're coming up real quick. And let's see how many other people are coming up. I believe, because I know there's like a couple others. But anyways, before I start this, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do something a little bit different for this panel. I'm going to be first of all, I'm going to I cannot speak. It is 10 o'clock in the morning right now.
It's too early.
But
You got this.
yes. But before words. English.
Before the panel starts.
Yeah, before the panel starts, yes, officially. Thank you. I wanted to, for those wondering what we are referring to with the Princess and the Cow Herder comic dub that we're referring to, I first wanted to show this comic dub before I introduce our guests over here. And in which case, I will be sharing my screen real quick to actually pop the dub up for y'all. Make sure that it'll.
And if you haven't seen it, you're in for a wild ride.
Absolutely, and I'm going to make sure that it's showing on my end for the people watching in the Discord server. The ones seeing it on stream, I'll be showing words showing it in a separate thing on Streamlabs. But of course, for those hearing the recording, the audio for it is going to be. Obviously the audio will be mixed into the recording later. Go ahead and get the. All right, my apologies. And of course, I will make sure that the video is put in the description of this video of the stream page after the stream ends. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Oh, not yet. Hold on. Okay, come on. There we go.
The amount of effort that went into this comic dub is like amazing. Like, you guys just aren't prepared. Like I was sat watching this in awe when I watched it for the first time.
Absolutely, no question. I'm just making sure that I'm trying to make sure that it's that everyone will be able to properly see it. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to make sure.
Okay.
I'm
trying
to test the browser source thing on this Streamlabs thing, but out of hell. Out of hell with it. I'll just stick with the screen. make this easier. I don't want to delay it any more than it needs to be. All right. So in that case, I will go ahead and yes, I'm just gonna go ahead and
make sure you all have your volume up.
Yeah, make sure you got your volume up, and I'll make sure it's turned up on the stream over here. Make sure that yes. Ah, come on. There we go. Anyway, let me just make sure. I'm not sure if it'll actually show the stream that way. So hold on.
If you've got popcorn, please open it quietly. I don't want to hear rustling of package while we're watching this, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, let me just double check the Streamlabs. Okay, cool. All right. So all right, everyone can see my screen here. Rio, you can see my screen over here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just needed to double check. All right. In that case, I will go ahead and stop talking for a second and show this to y'all because honestly, this view count right here, 4.1K, it's a crime that it's that low. And I personally feel like this has way too much work going into it for it to not be shown. So I'm going to stop talking and y'all enjoy. Just as soon as my audio wants to cooperate. Yes. Is it really gonna do this to me now?
I blame Discord.
Yeah, of course it's gonna. Yeah, of course that's gonna happen to me. That's not a no. Hold on. Actually, I got an idea here.
Hey, Josh, if you want, we can go around and introduce yourselves while you're working on the tech side.
That would actually work. I suck at this. Sorry about that.
You're fine, Josh. You're totally fine. Okay, so I can go ahead and start. So good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. And we're so glad you all are here. Thank you for coming this morning. The reason why this panel is at this time is because we have everybody literally from all four corners of the earth attending at the panel today. So I'm so grateful you all came and the amount of talent that I got to work with to do this piece was mind-blowing. So I hope please enjoy. We hope you enjoy this, and I will let everybody introduce yourselves. Gabs, you want to go next?
Hello, sorry, I have a delay here. Hello, everyone. I'm Gabs Sam. I'm an artist from Paraguay. I co-written this comic with Megu. I did the art for it, and I'm really happy to be here. I hope you enjoy the way we did. I think it was a wonderful work from Sydney, and yeah, that's what I want to say.
Okay, we'll keep going down the list on the Discord. So next is Kelp.
What's up, everybody? You all know DietDrKelp. In this comic, I am the voice of Silver / Hikoboshi, and this was one of my favorite projects that I've ever gotten to voice in. Always a pleasure to work with Sydney, especially with the amount of talent that was involved in this dub. It was crazy. I mean, we got people from all over the world. That's just that alone is insane. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. You may know me from Revolution as one of the mods and the voice director and the voice of Silver and Shadow, but for this, I'm the voice of Silver and Hikoboshi.
Thank you, Cal. Okay, next is ProjectSNT.
Hi, my name is Courtney, aka ProjectSNT, and I voice Cream in this lovely comic dub. Yeah, that's about it.
Short and sweet. Okay. Next
Mhm.
is Megu.
Hi, I'm Egu. I co-wrote the comic with Gabs. I gave it the color.
Nice. Okay. Next is Drunken Dragon Music.
Hi everyone, happy to be here. I am Francisco. I was the composer for the music in this short animation and just absolutely had a blast. Loved it every second of it. So happy to be here.
Awesome. And Gerbil.
Hey, I'm Sergeant Gerbil. I was the lead video editor for the project.
So yeah, I think that's everyone, I think.
I believe so, yes. In which case, I will go ahead and let me go ahead and stop screening for a second and try this again. Hold on.
If you want, Josh, we actually did get a special message from our voice actress of Marine, if you want. We have that.
Yes, go right ahead.
Or we can pull that up if you want. So, Scrillow, they were the voice of all the Chow. They send their best wishes. They weren't able to join last minute, and Daisy Rose was the actress of Marine, and so she sent us a message, and she said, "I'm sorry I can't be at the panel today. It is in the middle of the night here in Australia, and unfortunately, unlike Marine the raccoon, I am not nocturnal. So here are a few words from me. This project was the most delightful thing to be a part of. Marine has been one of my favorite characters to voice, being a cute, feisty Aussie. Sydney's genuine love and passion for the story and gratitude for everyone who has been part of it and supported this project is so infectious. Even though we've never met face to face or seen each other, Sydney has continued to support me in everything I do. You can tell she's put her heart and soul into this project, and it just oozes out of her, which is why I believe this project is so special, as well as Megu and Gabs Sam's absolutely beautiful artwork. Thank you to everyone that has supported The Princess and the Cowherder. I am so lucky and grateful to be a part of it." Aw, Daisy. She's the best. You know, a lot of you probably have heard Daisy elsewhere. She's in a lot of video game work, so that's what she's most known for, is the Pickle Lady. Uh, and there was a couple other video games that she's done. I think she's even done some work for Miraculous Ladybug. She was the voice of Marionette in one of the app games. So we were very lucky to bring her on board.
All right, so all right, so hold on. Let me try this again. Come on. This panel's already screwing up. Can you believe it? All right, let's try this again. I suck today. Sorry, y'all.
It's okay. It's early in the morning for you. You know what? I can't blame you.
All right.
You got this, Josh. You're doing a great job. You can't have a panel without technical difficulties. It's like a universal law.
A rite of passage.
Yes, a rite of passage. So we are doing just
I
A-okay.
I was trying to have this whole grandiose intro and I completely blew it. So
Kevin's had his audio issues. He can always stream it.
yeah, but just do that. Just do that. I give up. Kevin, you do it.
You were totally good. Totally good. Thank you for trying.
And just give me 1 second. I want to make sure that it's okay, Kev. Kev, give me 1 second. Hold on. I want to make sure that's that I Actually, I suck at this. Holy crap. Actually, I'm just.
Do you want me to play it?
Just go. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll be working over there, so please, don't touch anything.
You have nothing to worry about, mate.
We'll be working too, right, Cheese?
And you better do it right. These decorations are really important.
Huh? But why are we riding on them?
Because today is Tanabata.
Hooray! And what is Tanabata?
It's the day the lovers reunite. Long time ago, near the Milky Way, Orihime, the princess of the sky, spent all day weaving beautiful clothes. She worked so much, it made her father worried she would never find someone to share her life. So, he arranged a meeting with a sweet and hard-working cowherder named Hikoboshi. And they fell in love instantly. But they were so in love, Orihime stopped weaving pretty clothes, and Hikoboshi stopped looking over his herd. This angered her father. And as punishment, he separated the lovers on either side of the heavenly river, breaking the lonely princess's heart. To bring his daughter happiness again, her father allowed her to reunite with the cowherder once a year. But still, with the big river, she wasn't able to go by herself. So a flock of birds helped her to cross and finally reunite with her lover. And they'll be back each year to help again, but as long as the skies are clear. That's why we send our good wishes through our decorations, or else they would have to wait another year to meet again.
Oh no! This is bad! They won't be able to see each other.
There you are.
Finally! We have been waiting for you all day!
What have you done to her now?
What? No! I was just telling her the story you told me about! I swear!
Will the princess reunite with her love?
I'm sure they'll meet each other again.
I'm so happy! I hope they like our decorations!
Let's make some more!
It's time to go.
Why are you walking so fast? Don't leave without me!
Wait! I'm done with work. Can I go with you? Maureen!
You better give him a round of applause for that.
All right, so I just wanted to just say right off the bat, because I was trying to do a whole grandiose intro and completely blew it and made a complete butt out of myself in front of everybody. But I just wanted to go ahead and say right off the bat that, like I said earlier, the fact that the views on this are that low is.
It's an amazing project. Everyone has to keep watching it. You're gonna have to keep watching it.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I just
it's
want.
so good.
Yes, and I just want to say, like, legitimately, every
small detail was thought about.
Absolutely, literally, absolutely,
the tiniest thing, it was thought about. Like you think of it, it was definitely thought about.
For sure, and I just wanted to. And I just wanted to go ahead and say just say that right off the bat, like literally, like everybody in this did fantastic, and Sydney is an absolute genius, really. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and I guess I do have a couple. I mean, one of them I do words. I do have a couple of questions written down, and of course, and of course, after I throw in a couple, and if Rio has any, she's welcome to throw in as well. And then afterwards, we'll open it up to the audience, and
so keep your hand raised if you have a question, and we'll call you up after.
Absolutely, and I think I'll go ahead and start. This first question for Gabs. Well, this is technically for Gabs and Megu because y'all both worked on this comic. But so I feel like both y'all could potentially answer this one. But what gave you the idea for the Princess and the Cowherder fan comic?
Hey everyone. Sorry, my voice is going to be a little weird because I'm a little sick. So
Completely fine.
yeah. So the idea for the comic, it was back in 2021. We already did a collaboration with Megu. It was a Christmas drawing. So one day she came in my chat and say, "Hey, we should collaborate again." So we were talking. She say, "Tanabata is very close." That was 26th of June. So Tanabata it was like a week. It was in a week or something. And we were talking about doing a drawing. And then I told her, "Hey, I always wanted to do this one story where Marine and Cream talks about the story from Tanabata, and Blaze and Silver are the characters." And then that's when she say, "Oh, I actually been thinking about something like that." That was an idea that was like from a long time ago, so it was really nice to talk with her about it. And it was funny because we talked about that on the 26th, and that same day we already set the characters. We already knew what we were going to do. We talking about the story the same way you see it today. And at the next day, we already did the call. We talked about all the script and story. We got our first draft, and then she already got the character designs. And then at the next day, we started to make it like do the kind of final draft. And all those days we were working like, "Oh yeah, we can do this comic in a week." Wrong. At the end we got to the Tanabata day, and we still were working on it. I remember we did a lot of research about Tanabata, we both love the tale because it's kind of close to what Silver and Blaze are. There's some parallels they got with the story, and there's even Sonic Channel artworks where they kinda have something in common with the story. So it was a really nice opportunity to do a full work based on the tale. And I'm not sure if Megu wants to add something.
Not really. You explained very well. Well, we post the final comic like in September.
Yeah. But it was really nice. It was the very first time we did like a big project. We learned a lot. We did a lot of research.
Yeah.
We tried to be as careful as we can. I remember we finished the thumbnails of the comic with the dialogue, and we started to ask friends and people who working on writing to see if it makes sense, if the translation was all right. Because I remember our first draft was all in Spanish because we both speak Spanish, and we were like, "Oh, how we're going to translate this the right way?" So I tried to do the translation to English, and yeah, and that's where I started to ask people around, "Oh yeah, is this okay? Does this make sense? Uh, uh, it, is the story working?" So we got some reviews. It was really nice. We started to work a little bit. Hey, you need to make a little sense here in this part, and then we realized, oh wait, this is something that was in our Spanish script. So we started to change a little bit to fit what we were trying to do. So it was really nice to work with Megu in this comic. I really want to keep working with her because it was really nice. We had so much fun together, and we also were really happy with the reception. Like we started to read comments from a lot of people. They thought it was really nice. We, all the all the pages, all the art in the pages, you see, it was like from the very first minute we started to do the artistic decisions. Like, yeah, this is going to be in this has to be in this tone in the story, and everything was planned it carefully planned. So yeah, it was really nice to work with her. We were a little bit surprised to see some Sega accounts that started to comment on our Twitter posts about the comic. Like they were really nice, and yeah, some IDW people also started to comment on it, and yeah, it was really nice to know we made a lot of people happy with it, and in fact, that's how I met Sydney. She suddenly I got a DM on my Twitter, and it was someone called it a blue moon, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I really like the comic. Hey, can I buy it?" And we started to talk there. Yeah, we cannot do that, but if something happens about printing the comic, maybe I'll going to give you for free, or how is or I'll try to get it to you, or something. And then that's when we started to talk because she told me her story about uh, how she started to know about Tanabata, but I'll let that uh, her to explain. But it was really nice. We met a lot of great people when working about the in this project, and that's how we did it. We're really happy.
Absolutely. I was literally getting funny enough. My question after that was going to be, how did this team up happen? So you pretty much answered that for me. Yeah, it's 2 questions in one. Yeah, it was. I remember, and I do remember specifically, and because I know when we met at Fan Jam, one of the things I very fondly remember was you having a physical copy of that comic, and I remember specifically being like. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time I saw like what the work y'all and Megu put into it, I actually like legit thought it was like an official issue. That was how on point the drawings were, and like just how well it was done. So I definitely feel like it was they could not have picked a better comic to dub in my opinion. Like that was it's top tier, legit.
It was really nice because the moment I heard I was going to Atlanta to meet all of you, I thought I have to print the comic for Sydney.
Yeah.
I have to do that, and I was like trying to see ways that it's all right. I think I printed the comic like 2 or 1 day before the travel because I couldn't find the right printer to do it, and it was like a rush. You have to give me the comic. Give me the comic. I'm not going from until I get that. And yeah, that's the behind scenes for that.
Nice. Yeah, that was.
I nearly cried when I got it.
Yeah, I
No joke.
can confirm. Because I remember at one point we were just chilling in Sydney's hotel, nerding about silvaze stuff. It was fun. But
Good times.
absolutely. Rio, is there any questions you potentially wanted to ask her?
From the top of my head, no.
That's
All I
completely
can think of.
that's completely fine. If not, that's fine. I just wanted to at least give you an opportunity to give some if you had any. But I guess that's okay because I have an extra one written down right here, and then I think afterwards, just for the sake of time, I'll
Yeah.
open it up for the audience. What would y'all? Then I guess this one could apply to everybody. What would you say was your favorite part about working in the project? And of course, we could just go down the line if that helps. I guess to make things easier. I saw Sydney, you had your you were about to unmute. If you want to go first.
Oh, that's okay. Gabs, if you want to go and I can follow you.
Oh, my favorite moment. Well, I really enjoyed to draw the comic and work with Megu. And about the project, the DAP project was of course working with Sydney because we were like really. She was really nice to add me into the behind scenes to get my opinion. She did a really great work with everything. We were in the. I think everything was my favorite thing. I really cannot mention anything specific because I really have fun in in the in both of the process to make the comic and to be in the behind scenes with Sydney. So yeah, you can go ahead, Sydney.
I guess in regards to the comic itself, so what Gabs was talking about is I actually had the opportunity to experience a Tanabata festival. And so when I saw this of Silver and Blaze, I love Silver and Blaze, and so I freaked out. I contacted Gabs like, could I buy a copy of this comic? It means so much to me. And then but one of my favorite, most meaningful memories was when Gabs gave me a physical comic book of that in when I attended the Sega convention in Atlanta, and that is one of my prized possessions to this day. If anybody touches it, if I bring it out, they have to wash their hands. I have it in a protected sleeve in my house. I always protect that one. But in regards to the dub, it was amazing to bring the talent all together. I remember messaging Gerbil. It's like, would you be willing to consider me commissioning you for this project? And him saying yes. And then one thing I do remember is so the ending song was a vague idea I had in my head. It was, what if we took the traditional Tanabata song and make it into a love theme? And I was like, I don't know if we can do it. That would be cool if we could have like a closing credits where the lovers are singing to each other. So when I found Francisco, I just messaged him like, oh, I have this idea. And he was like, of course, done. And I remember him sending me the first draft of it. And he was like, be prepared to cry. And I was like, oh, okay. So I turned it on and I was like almost in tears when I first heard it. I think that was definitely one of my favorite parts, was hearing the soundtrack and had that pulling everything together.
And I believe after, which I 100% agree on that, by the way. It's not every day that a silvaze comic dub can make a grown man cry, and that closing theme manages to do it every single time. And I've seen that dub at least half a dozen times. I'm serious, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah. And I believe Kelp, if you'd like to go next.
All right. So it's so hard to pick a favorite moment from this comic because this was just such a crazy labor of love from everyone involved. And I guess if I had to say, it was probably just the whole idea that this comic was coming together from people around the world. Like we had people from, I believe, what was it, Sydney, like 6 continents? Like, was that true?
Yeah, we had people involved from every continent except Africa and Antarctica.
Right. So 5 then. Yeah, it's crazy to think that, when I started voice acting, I didn't even think that I would be involved in a project that would, get this kind of level of like unity across all sorts of facets. Like we have people from around the world doing this, and just everything from the editing to the music to the voice acting to the story to the art, everything was just so incredibly well done. And it's a very special project to me, and it's probably going to be one of my favorites for a long time.
Definitely would. I definitely can see why. Courtney Courtney, how about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Let's see. I think my favorite moment was the very first draft that was posted in the Discord that we were collaborating in. They posted like a first draft of the editing of the comic, and I was like, wow, this is like real high quality stuff. And it like blew my mind. So yeah, stuff like that.
Nice. Megu, how about yourself?
I don't know. I don't know much about fan dubs, but seeing how these people want to apply for voice role was really hype, to be honest.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Francisco.
Hey, well, how to pick a favorite moment, right? Well, if I had to choose, from the pre-production, can I have 2? Because
Absolutely.
I have one from pre-production and from the production itself. If I had to choose from the whole making of the soundtrack, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed making all of it, but the part I enjoyed the most was the end credits song. I absolutely loved working on that. By the way, the singer Joanna sends her regards.
Awesome.
And from the pre-production, well, I entered in the late stage of the process, because when Sydney sent me the drafts, it was already kinda animated and voice acted. So and she was like, "Oh, I have to ask you something. Really, actually, Gabs has a special request." And I was like, "Okay, what do you need?" And Gabs was like, "Can you slip in a part of Dreams of an Absolution in this particular scene?" And I was like, I don't know if I will be able to do that. And when I tried it, and it fit just perfectly, and I was like, great job, Gabs. And I really enjoyed making that work. It was like super fun, and it was like an eureka moment for me while I was doing the music.
Yes, and I could definitely see why, because you did a phenomenal job with the soundtrack, which I definitely know I want to get into later down the like in a little bit. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
Thank you. No, I wanted just to say thank you.
No problem. And yes, you've mentioned the Easter eggs, which we'll definitely get to in a bit. But we'll just get to the last person we have here, Mr. Sergeant Gerbil. I don't even know why I said Mr. when there's Sergeant right there, but I'm just messing.
Mr. Sergeant Gerbil, that's a new one.
It's like Mr. Dr. Professor Sergeant Gerbil, you know?
Yeah.
but yes, what would you say was your favorite part or moment about working on this project?
It's a really difficult question. There's a lot of moments that were really fun. Yeah, it's a really tough question. I think maybe I wouldn't say there was like a one specific moment. I think when Sydney and I finalized like the intro and credits of the video, I think we were both really happy with how that turned out. And it was sort of like simple, but it hit right in the feels where it was supposed to hit. Because I'm not particularly what's the word? A very sort of tone sensitive to like romance stuff. It's not really my thing. So that was kind of like a bit of a struggle for me. Learning how to time. It sounds ridiculous, but like timing the pace of the comic romantically, which sounds really funny, but it's genuinely something I had to consider. Growing up, I never really I was never really into that sort of stuff, and so it was a nice challenge having to do that, like dub a romance comic. It was very like scary at first, but like, yeah, sorry, I'm completely going off of topic. That intro and credits, that intro and credits sequence, I think was like the moment where I think both City and I were like, yes, this is really coming together. So yeah,
for sure. I definitely like there were like specifically. I definitely liked what you did with the. I really do legit love how those credits came out. By the way, too, very well done. But
being with having the Dreams of Absolution in like the music is like an Easter egg. I want to know if there's like other Easter eggs that have been in the comic, or like if there's anything that ended up not being in the comic at the end and was removed out of it.
Yes, I believe.
So Gabs and Megu, I know there were some Easter eggs you put into the comic, and then I know Gerbil, I know there were some kind of editing nods towards the games, and then Francisco, you had some nods in the soundtrack that you slipped in, and then
we had Easter eggs in every aspect then.
Yeah, there was a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, I think the most important one has to be the Blaze sacrifice. That's like the biggest parallel between the Tanabata original tale with Silver and Blaze, because they were separated, and we wanted to add that scene into the comic to make it very obvious. And I know I was looking at the chat we got at that time with Megu, and we were talking about trying to emulate the colors. It was in that cutscene and put it into the comic as well. Another reference I remember was the flickies are from Sonic 3D Blast. I remember playing that game a lot when I was little. So, and those flickies was like, oh yeah, I need to add them into this, especially because the original tale has verse into the story. The original one, I think there was like a different version where Orihime walked on them as a just to get to Hikoboshi. But in this case, we were talking with Megu. Hey, how we're going to do this? I don't want Blaze to walk on on this flicky. And oh yeah, I know how we can do this. And we started to do some examples of how it's going to be. So yeah, that's how at the end we added those 3D Blast flickies that each of them has the name, but I don't think that we have the time for that. I think those were the only reference. We were originally the father. It wasn't going to be the heaven. It was going to be a garden. I think Megu has the concept art for that around there. We were going to share in the chat, and it was really funny. But then we started to think about the intention, and I think I like it more the way the final product looks. And yeah, those were the reference. I'm not sure if Francisco wants to add the reference that he got into the song.
Oh, yeah. It was like I actually slept. I don't know if everyone noticed. I actually slept 2 parts of Dreams of an Absolution. One is when the first one is in it's the orchestral version from that cutscene. You know, the pam 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 when she's flying, and then I slept it again. But the original Silver theme, when they show up, the da 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 da, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but that was a blast when Gabs was like, "Oh, can you please put this in the scene?" I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work, and then I was like, oh damn, it works like a charm. So it was a nice surprise to also to the challenge to be able to have to, you know, they often say that limitations are a bad thing, but I think in this case it was like, you have to do this, and it's like a challenge, and it ended up working really, really, really nice. And I was so happy to hear the final, to make it work. And in the end, I think it was a nice Easter egg. And of course, the ones who noticed it were like, oh, I know that part. And that is to know that some people are like getting that sense of discovery in that part of the track is like it brings a great joy to me.
And Francisco, you threw in some of the Tanabata, the child song, the Japanese child song. You threw some of the theme in there too.
Yes, there are hidden like little bits and pieces of the dee da dee da 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 oh, here and there, especially when Cream is talking about Tanabata.
We were all freaking out when we get copies of the drafts of Francisco's work. And like Gerbil, I don't know if you want to comment on this. You know that scene where she's being taken away by her father. When you sent that draft to me of like the glow and the effects that you added in, I was like, It's 06. Do you want to add to any of that, Gerbil?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm glad you liked it. It'd be a bit problematic if you didn't like it, but I'm glad you did
I
like
loved
it.
it. I loved it.
The I remember do you remember when we were going through ideas for that scene where Hikoboshi, I'm sorry, I'm absolutely butchering that name, and Orihime, they meet in the middle. And we were going through like different drafts for it, and I was like, what if we have like the moon glow a bit, sort of act as a little like fade transition, and then have Orihime and Hikoboshi sort of meet in the middle from two parts of the screen. And to give you some like a little bit of context for that, we were really lucky that Gabs and Megu had versions of the pages without the characters and without the speech bubbles, which means that we could do like a lot more than say like what we would usually do at Adrenaline Dubs, where instead of having to reverse engineer panels to be empty, we just had it available to us, which is like a blessing. So what I could do is I could have just Orihime and Hikoboshi in that one scene where they meet under the moon. I could just have them slide in flawlessly, meet in the middle, fade transition to them doing an undisclosed hugging or kissing, whatever Sydney tells you it is, and then fading to the text. It's stuff like that, having that like accessibility really made things like so much more easy to like take creative liberties with. I really love that scene where Orihime, is getting taken away, and then it does that like slow fade to black down, and then you see Orihime's trail sort of fade in, and then breaking the lonely princess's heart. I thought that was like a really cool little moment. It was just the biggest challenge was just trying to like make it seem romantic, because again, it's just something that like just did not come naturally. I never really voiced the concern to Sydney because I was like, I can do it. It's fine. It's good. It's expanding my comfort zone, and luckily it pulled through. But yeah, it was just like so much creative freedom and room for experimentation, which was super duper fun.
You were amazing, Gerbil. Oh, one other Easter egg that's in the comic, Gabs and Megu. I didn't catch it until Gabs pointed it out, but Cosmo's in the comic. So if you look in Tails' workshop, you'll see a little potted plant in the top. And I love it. So
That is so cute.
I think I remember. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I'm pretty. Yeah, I cannot speak. I know I recognize that one because I'm pretty sure that was actually when we saw when I was looking at the comic for the first time. I think that was like pointed out at one point while I was there. I could be misremembering that entirely, but I remember there was something like that was brought up, but. Yeah. Let me see. I believe there. I have a text question over here. I'm sorry. I didn't. Was that all the? I cannot speak. Was that everything? That you were able to like mention as far as like Easter eggs and all that concerned? We're Sydney. I just wanted to make sure I'm not like talking over you or anything.
I think we got them all. Yeah. I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There was one thing I wanted to add. Obviously, when we do voice acting, not a lot of the things make it to the actual comic.
Yeah.
So we actually had a lot of dialogue that we recorded as Silver and Blaze or as Hikoboshi and Orihime, and it ended up having to get cut for the sake of the story. But there was a lot of extra lines that just didn't happen to make the cut.
That's true. Like there were Kelp, you and I were like in a call with Gabs for like an hour. We wanted to improv Orihime and Hikoboshi meeting again, reuniting, and so we did take after take after take, trying to get some improv just to have stuff to work with. But we unfortunately had to cut it. So there's a lot of unseen stuff, but it was awesome. It's just a testament of how amazing Kelp is at their craft. And yeah, and speaking of voiceovers, Kelp and Courtney, is there anything you both wanted to add in regards to the voiceover side?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything other than the fact that, you know, with most times with my silver, especially with Revo, I pitch silver up a little higher, but for this comic, I shifted it back more to the original '06 interpretation of silver. So for instance, my Revo voice is something like this, but for the comic, I did something more like this, which is more similar to what Pete Capella did because
Yeah.
I wanted it to be more emotionally resonant with the story of the comic.
Yeah. It honestly, it worked. I honestly like that. Honestly, like that you did that too. Is gave it a little extra, just like the fact that you like did that extra take on it. Because like I mean, I don't need to tell you how good your silver is, but I know like I've always gotten like P. Capella vibes from it in a way. So I definitely feel like you making that approach to it actually like really worked with the comic in my personal opinion. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, because I was in the call with Sydney and with Gabs, and I asked like if there was anything specific they wanted me to do. Would they want me to do my typical Revo Silver, or would they want me to do more of the '06 interpretation of Silver, where it's a little bit more serious and he's got a bit more of a different tone? And they went with the '06 one, and so I turned it back to that one, and I think it worked really well.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I believe. Sorry.
If that's everything, should we move on to the audience questions?
Yes, I believe I might as well. Before I do that, I do know Dino Kaiju has a text question that I'll go ahead and read that real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. For Gabs, what was the process for the character designs of Orihime and Hikoboshi? I know that Silver and Blaze are the main base, but did you use references of the Tanabata story to be as accurate as possible when it comes to the costume designs?
The costume designs was like all the work from Megu. I'm not sure if she wants to come here to talk about it. She was in charge of that side. She did, as I said before, I think it was in the second day where she started to send some designs for how Blaze, Silver, and Garden was going to, how they were going to do. We shared a lot of reference. We started to see how people were started to show how the clothing. We researched a lot to do it, and I think that's how it was. It was in the process. Besides that, I think one little thing that didn't make it into the end, in the final product, was Megu did Chao dress up as a cow, because at the when we were talking about how we were going to do the cow herder, um, she say, "Oh yeah, we're going to make them dress up like cows." And then we thought, "Oh yeah, we're just going to do the he's guarding some cows." So that's enough. That's really cute, and we are going to share that little concept art as well around here. Besides that, I think that's how it was behind scenes.
Awesome. All right. I believe. Yeah, I might as well just go ahead and start opening the audience questions up because we have a good like 10 or so hands raised. I feel like just due to the technical difficulties I was having in the beginning, I will be extending the panel. I will be extending the panel a bit just to make up for that lost time. Which I feel like I might have to, because yeah, the hand raise is only increasing. So believe I could get the first person up, and then we could just kind of go down the line as far as requests and all that stuff. So I'll go ahead and start the audience questions with my boy Radar. Come on up.
Ah, Josh, you're too kind. You're too kind, man.
Of course, man. Go ahead.
Morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, I have never been at a panel this early before. It's nice getting to see you all. And sorry.
I've been up since
It is
4
still
o'clock this morning, man. Don't worry. I've been up since 4 a.m., man. Don't worry. It's 11 a.m. now.
All right, there you go. I fixed my microphone. Hello. Nice to be meeting you all. I had a different question in mind, but now I have something else to ask, and it's mainly for Gabs and Megu. I know that from the Japanese media from Sonic, I know that Sonic Channel has done a lot with Tanabata before, especially in arts with Silver, at least what comes to mind. And I think there may be one with Blaze. I just can't seem to remember from what month it was. But I mainly wanted to ask, did Sonic Channel happen to influence this project? And was there any I don't know, maybe a couple of references from Sonic Channel you guys wanted to include as well?
About that, of course, the core idea of Tanabata paralleling the silvaze was I remember this is a well-known thing into the silvaze community. A lot of fans does that parallel because of that Sonic Channel calendar artwork. Because he is seen with in that theme, and at the same time, we see Blaze doing the very same pose as paralleling that same artwork where he is represented like that. Something very funny happened this year because out of nowhere, we right now Sonic Channel is doing this project about isekai. There are stories where they got characters to make a specific story where they are like in different roles, but they are still the same. The funny thing is, after they saying we are not going to repeat characters, any of that, they did a poll for Silver and Blaze and Omochao, and it was it felt very oh yeah, they really want to do this. There's no way this is not something that they are not they don't want to do. And in this poll finished in the day of Tanabata. It was really funny because they won, and we were joking around. Oh yeah, they finished the poll in Tanabata because the lovers reunite. And yeah, those were very funny coincidence. I think they really like that, especially because I see one of the artists that they weren't sharing the isekai stories before, and they started to share the one with Silver and Blaze. I know people know Karasuna-san. She shared in her Twitter account. That was really nice. Maybe she had something to do in that story. But yeah, that's in general about the content, how it influenced us to do the story as well. I think if Mego has something to add.
Nothing more to add. But yes, that peak of Silver celebrating Tanabata was the main inspiration, I guess.
Yeah,
I thought as much, just because, yeah, this does like that artwork does seem like something you guys would have pulled inspiration from. It's a thing I've been thinking about for a bit. When the video came out, I was thinking, this seems awfully familiar. But yeah, well, thank you for answering my question. And hey, us silvaze enjoyers are certainly enjoying both what they're doing on Sonic Channel and in IDW recently. Sega knows what they're doing.
I hope they know.
It's
I hope they know we like it.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
thank you.
All right. Rio, would you like to pick the next person?
Okay. So I'll keep going in the order with Sally Acorn.
All right.
I shall join in. Hello, everyone. And how y'all doing today?
Good.
Good.
Doing awesome. Welcome.
Thank you. And don't mind me. I just drank my coffee, so I might have a little bit of a sugar rush. Anyways,
It's
I actually have a question for all of you. Who what was it like when you make a marine, telling the story about the Tanabata day?
Oh, what did we make of Marine narrating the story?
Mm-hmm.
What are our thoughts on that?
Yes.
Oh, she's a total silvaze shipper.
She was.
Oh, she totally is.
Definitely.
She made fan fiction.
Yeah.
I think Daisy, the voice actress of Marine, she pulled it off brilliantly. When I was looking for Marine, I went through a lot of brilliant actors. It was really we accumulated a whole bunch of auditions, and I contacted Daisy like, hey, would you be interested? And man, she delivered. I remember I messaged Gabs. What we did was I would go through all of the auditions and then send our top 3 auditions to Megu and Gabs and say, okay, you choose which one that you want. And I wouldn't tell them like who the actor was. It was a blind casting. And the second that I passed that over to Gabs and Megu, Gabs, do you remember? I think you messaged me. He was like, "That's her. That's Marine. Exactly how I pictured her in my head."
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the voice I have in my head.
And it was really cool to get Australian talent to portray Marine. I think that was one thing I was really excited about for sure. Daisy did a brilliant job with narrating as Marine.
I applaud her for that. I actually like her voice accent and as a Marine. And let me tell you, the whole storytelling that she's telling to everybody almost got me in tears. There's actually.
Oh yeah, when we were doing that line, oh, shoot, what was it? It was the one that you were talking about, Gerbil, the scene where she's like, she just got separated from Hikoboshi. My heart just dropped when Daisy delivered that line. It was perfect. Her delivery was incredible.
It was a masterpiece, and it's art.
It is art. With these people, it is art.
Yes. Well, I don't want to be staying up for too long because I know these people are hands raising. So keep up the good work, and love the ending part for Tails. Those complaining on Marie.
Yes.
On top of that, later.
Bye.
See ya. All right. I believe if you Sydney, if you'd like, we could potentially like kind of go down the line and pick people just to kind of like give everybody an opportunity, but that's up to you.
Yeah, of course.
I guess would you like to do the honors?
Oh, select somebody for a question? Of course. All right, come on up, Mr. JPEG or James. Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Surviving.
All right. Yep, relatable. Okay, I don't want to beat around the bush. I have my question ready. So when I first watched the video, I was just in awe. I was starstruck pretty much. And I've had this question in the back of my head for so long. How did all of you, when starting to voice act, starting to edit, starting to do the music, all of that, how did all of you develop just the passion to make this? Like, how did it all just kind of come out in the end? Did it come out the way you wanted it to, or just were you just shocked by the end result?
I guess we can go down the line, right?
Yeah, this is a
Okay,
question intended
perfect.
this is a question intended for everybody.
In that
Okay,
case.
first.
Oh.
I can go first. So when I the only way I can really describe it is that you have an idea bouncing around in your head, and it bounces around in your head so much that you're like, I just have to do this. I have to try. I'd actually been considering trying to dub Gabs and Megu's comic for a long time, months before I even proposed this to Gerbil and Gabs and Megu. And I was just like, I just want to try. I just want to see if I can do this. And Tanabata and Silver and Blaze mean a lot to me, and to share Gabs and Megu's incredible story, which was just like really the core of it for me, and this amazing talent. I would work with every single person in this cast and crew again, guaranteed. The amount of love that they put into this is amazing. So that's what I would say.
Awesome.
I think Gabs, if you want to go next.
Sorry, what was the question?
The question was just, how did all of you develop the passion for this? So I guess for you it would be like, how did just kind of creating the comic, like how did you just feel with the process of it all until you finished it?
Oh, well, I love silvaze. I love Silver and Blaze, and I wanted to do a high quality comic. I mean, we wanted, of course, with Megu. It was funny because at the very start, I was learning how to do comics back then, and right at the same time we were working on this. So it was really crazy to see me and while we were like going forward, like completing pages and everything, it started to look like really close to what we wanted. And even I remember the very first time I think our first page was the one where Marina started to tell the story, and you go down and there's like three blaze doing the thing with the clothing. And I remember I sent that page to Megu, and when she got it back was like, oh my gosh, this looks so professional. her colors was so amazing. Like, wow, I can't believe my stuff could look that way with your colors. Like, oh yeah, it doesn't. My drawing doesn't suck. And it was a really crazy process because then we finished the comic and it looked like, oh wow, we did this. This is so weird, and it works, especially because I enjoy it to do the part where they tell the story, because it was something like, oh yeah, I want to do this specific way where there's this big composition and it can be all very magic. There's this magic tone, like very sweet and all, and Meg already knew what she has to do. And so when it was back, it was absolutely incredible. Like her
Mhm.
colors was incredible. And that's
Ye-
how we started to feel, yeah, we got all this passion for this project, and it's becoming stronger, and that's how we finished it. And I think the comic that was the work Sydney did with the full video was amazing. Like
Mhm.
she was really nice to let me be part of it, and Megu of course. And yeah, oh man, it's so cool.
Yeah, the final product is just phenomenal.
Yeah, all all the talents, the voice actor,
Yeah.
the composer, the editing, sorry, it's amazing. Everything.
Mhm.
I hope we can work together again, Sydney. Maybe in the future.
Oh, Gabs, anytime. You just say it, I will be there. Anybody on this project, I want to work with them again. So yes, 1,000 times yes.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else would like to answer the question. If not, I can just go back to the audience.
I'll kind of add my 2 cents.
All right.
Every time Sydney asks me to voice Silver, I already have all the passion I need.
Yeah.
It is always a pleasure to work with Sydney as Silver in
Aw.
anything, and I will happily do it until the end of time. That's just how it goes.
When I was talking to Gabs and Megu, we were like considering like who to cast, and Kelp was at the top of my list. I was like, "Can we do Kelp? Can we please do Kelp?"
And
was
I told her, yes, he is the best option. We're going with Kelp.
So I'm glad I was thought so highly of. But
that's
in
awesome.
all honesty, it's seriously, it was just you know, such a great story, and it delves into into real world culture, and it
Mhm.
mixes 2 things that I love, which is, you know, experiencing different cultures and also Sonic the Hedgehog. So having those 2 things combined was super cool, and it was a chance to do Silver in a way that wasn't necessarily, you know, the same as I'd always done him. So I
Mhm.
was really happy to be able to portray Silver in a different way. And of course, I'm always happy to work alongside Sydney, and it was great to work alongside some talent I never thought I would work next to. Like I never thought I would work with Project SNT, but here I am. And I never thought I would work with Daisy Rose, and here I am. And it's just great to work with so many new people, and I always love it. It's great.
That's awesome. Okay. Does anybody else want to answer?
We can go down the line. Oh yeah, go ahead, Gerbil. I saw you on mute.
Oh, sorry. I was just about to ask what the question was again.
It's okay. It's okay. The question was just kind of like, how did you develop the passion for this? So for you, it would be like, how did you really feel about, you know, getting the energy to really make this, to edit the comic in the best way it can? You could edit it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, this was a commission. I won't deny that there was money involved. Absolutely.
Hey, make your paper. I get it.
No, I probably would have done it for free. It just wouldn't have come out of it. Just wouldn't have come out of quickly as it did. But yeah, it was just a nice comic though. I don't know. I just like it was just very nice working with a lot of people I haven't worked with before. Like I've never worked directly with an artist who like so you know, because I'm from Adrenaline Dubs, I'm one of the lead editors, and you know, when we're dubbing comics, we don't work with like any of the official artists to make sure that what we make is like good. So like working with the artist who made the comic was definitely a weird feeling. It's something I've never really like done before. And yeah, I don't know. Everyone's Sydney's like a very surprisingly good director, which definitely made things like a. So yeah, I'm more so in the fact that I like I don't know. I guess like I I wasn't not expecting you to be a good director. It's just I guess I've never also been directed. Like everything I usually make is on my own terms, or it's something that I choose to make myself. So like, you know, I was kind of expecting, or not concerned, but I was ready for the whole. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort of preemptively figure out what they want, try and poke their mind about it. But you know, Sydney was very clear about what she wanted, and it was a very smooth ride. And yeah, just the communication was motivating.
That is
TLDR that.
That is honestly great to hear, and it shows in the final product.
I'm glad you like it.
Yes, very
Gerbil
much.
was a dream to work with.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
pretty cool.
It's true. It's true.
It's like UI.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
What about you, Francisco? And I think Francisco and Courtney are the and Megu. I think those are the only two.
Yeah.
Can I go?
Go for
Yeah, you
it.
can go.
Oh, okay. So first, let me think. It really wasn't hard to find motivation and passion to do it, because first of all, when I saw the posting for the we are looking for a composer, it said like it was like it's a comic dub with characters from Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was like, okay, I like this. So I went in and kept reading, and it was like, we want a very Disney Ghibli kind of vibe, like this romantic magical lush, and I was like, hey, this is what I really enjoy making. They had me at that point. I was already sold, and I was like, I hope I get this. But I didn't know that was just the beginning, because then when Sydney and Gabs sent me the first draft that was already animated and edited and had the voice acting in it, I was like, I honestly wasn't expecting it to be that good. And I recall Gerbil saying a while ago that he was like, Gerbil, you said that you kind of you were worried about the pacing, that you weren't used to pace these things like this in this romantic, more slow paced maybe kind of editing. But one of the things that I first loved, on top of the great voice acting and the artwork. First I thought it was like official artwork, and I was like, what is this? And one of the things I told my fiance at the time, in that moment, when was like, this is really, really well paced. Like, it really made it so easy for me to score it, because it was a very precise and how do I say it? The pacing was spot on. It blended so nicely with the visuals and the voice acting, and I was like, it really made it so easy. I'm not saying it wasn't hard work, but it really made it easy for me to really have it sounding in my head already. And so I just saw it, and I was like, it was so well done in every aspect that it really was easy. And the directions from Sydney were so clear. Like, I want this. She was so clear with her intentions, with her vision of what she wanted it to sound like, that that was all I personally needed to like get passionate about it. And it really was, it really made it easy, it being so well done in every aspect. That was, for me, was at least what it pushed me.
When I saw your app, when I put out a call for a composer, I'd gone through, like, spent weeks, like, searching composers, and I had, like, kind of a list, and I remember running into Francisco's application. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take a look. I listened to it, and I grabbed my roommate, my best friend. I was like, you have to listen to it. I think I found him. And then like and then when I was on the call with Francisco, and I was like, "Hey, let's go Alan Menken and Joe Hisaishi," and he knew exactly what to do. I had a tall order, and Francisco, oh my gosh, you delivered. I was so lucky to bring you on board.
You just happened to mention some of my favorite composers of all time, so I was like, I get to do work like this, like sign me up. I'm here.
Oh, it was great.
It was a blast.
It was like when we were on that initial call, it was like we were on the same wavelength. I was like I said, "Can we do this?" And Francisco was like, "Oh, I was thinking the same thing." It was uncanny. It was super cool.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes.
I remember the thing about Sakura.
Yes, I was like, oh, Gabs was like, look, I don't know if you have heard, but you should. I have this anime that I love, Sakura Card Captor Sakura, and I think it would go really nicely. And it was really funny because my fiance had told me a couple of days ago, like, oh, this totally sounds like it would go with something like Sakura. And then Gabs told me the same thing, and I was like, we're all on the same page here. I know exactly what to do here. It was really fun. Yes, that was really all it took for the creative juices to start flowing. It made it really easy. It made the whole process really easy and enjoyable.
That's awesome. Okay.
Megu and Courtney, do you want to go next?
I just want to say everybody in the team worked really, really well. I'm super happy with the final result. And having custom music too was crazy to me, like really, really crazy. So I appreciate a lot your work.
Oh, we appreciate you, Megu and Gabs were there the whole time when Gerbil and I would need something. We were like, "Can we have this like frame without the characters?" And they were on it all the time. And I remember talking with Gerbil. We were like, we knew this was like high quality, but if you peel even back the layers and layers of work, you can see even more Megu's and Gabs artwork that you wouldn't see otherwise. It was amazing.
Yeah. So many bits just were amazing.
I remember we had separate things. So we had one version of the page without the speech bubbles and one version with the speech bubbles. And I started replacing all of the source files because what I did originally was I did the comic dub with the speech bubbles, and then after that, I was just going to replace them with the speech bubble-less versions and then layer the speech bubbles on top. So what I ended up doing was that but I recklessly went through and replaced all the source files without realizing that the ones I had been sent that weren't the speech bubble ones, so the ones with the speech bubbles and the ones without, I replaced the ones with the speech bubbles with the ones without them. This is getting confusing, I know, bear with me. And then I realized that the ones without the speech bubbles were actually slightly smaller. And if you're working in a video editing program and you replace an image with another one and it's smaller, it doesn't know what to do, so it usually freaks out. And I remember going back into my computer like the next day, opening the files and seeing that everything was just completely black except like the VFX, and I was like, oh my god, that's not good. Anyway, yeah, I figured out like the speech bubble-less versions were slightly smaller, which was causing the program to flip out. So I had to resize all of them. I didn't want to pester anyone with it, so I was like, yeah, just scale them all down slightly. Maybe no one will notice, and no one did notice. So yay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who did you say still needs to speak?
Courtney, if you'd like to.
If you'd like to, yeah.
I don't know how to answer this question. Because I feel like I wasn't that involved with the creative process because I was just the voice for Cream. basically, like I had seen the comic on Twitter, like floating around, and I enjoyed it passively, and then I saw the casting call for the comic, and I was like, sure, well, what the heck, why not? And this is like the first time I've ever voiced Cream.
Oh.
So it was a really experimental kind of thing. I wasn't sure if I was even gonna like get the part. I just kind of did it for fun. And lo and behold, they chose me. And yeah, and then the rest is a history, I guess.
There you go.
All right. There you go. I love how everybody got their chance to shine, and it really feels great getting to ask this question to all of you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I guess just picking off of Courtney really quick, when we so I saw Courtney audition. I was like, okay, cool. And we really wanted to pair cream and cheese together really closely. So we tried like different things, and I remember listening to Cream, and my goal with casting Cream was to make her sound like her name, just to be the epitome of her name. And when I heard Courtney's, I was like, oh, this is what I want. Like, this is very sugary sweet. I always think of the pavlova, the treat pavlova. It's
Oh,
sweet
yeah.
and subtle, but like it's fluffy and happy. And Courtney just knocked it out of the park. We were so excited to bring her on board.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. Okay. I'm pretty sure everybody has answered my question.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, I hope you guys just have a great rest of your day, and hope to see you guys all again at some point. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Would anybody let's see. I believe you already picked Sydney. Kelp, would you like to pick the next person?
Sure, I'll pick someone. Let's see here. You know what? Come on up, Kevin.
Oh, Mr. C Cucumber.
Oh my gosh, it's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
How's it going?
I knew that was coming.
How's it going, you nerdy pickle? You. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay. Coming. Wow. So, excuse me. My question is, what is something you really wanted to put into the project, but it didn't make the cut at the end?
That's a great question. Can I be annoying and answer that one first?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I wanted to do so much more facial animations. Like I wanted to do lip syncing. I wanted to have more like blinking. I wanted to have some hand drawn like ribbon stuff. I remember we threw around the idea, Sydney, of the spinning thing, the cloth.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to have that actually animate and spin around while Maureen was talking. And I tried my hand at it, but I'm not an artist, and it just didn't turn out the way I wanted to. It would have needed at least, I reckon, about like 10 to 15 frames to look like nice. But there was like tons of video editing stuff that I absolutely would have loved to put in. But I'm happy. I'm super duper happy with the result we got anyway. So yeah.
Right, well, thank you for answering my question.
For sure. Is there anybody else that had something that was cut that they was that there was something cut that didn't make the final thing that they wanted to talk about?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, there was a dead chow in one of the pages, and sadly, it didn't make it to the end.
The dead chow, yes.
Yeah, the skeleton chow, because Hikoboshi didn't take care of them. But
He literally didn't make it.
Oh yeah. Also, here it goes. A special concept art of cheese in the chat.
Oh, hope you don't mind if I show that on the stream real quick, just so people have context, because I'm the stream coordinator. I can do that. Isn't that great? Hold on, let me go ahead and open it up in the. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and throw in a download that real quick and open up the. There we go. Now technology wants to work on me. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and open up that media file for, well, the image rather. This right here is the concept art for cheese for those looking at the stream right now. I see what you did there. It's just, all right. Just show that for a couple seconds, and there you go. I like that the file says queso.
Yes, that I forgot that it was queso because of course we talk in Spanish.
Yeah. I just thought no, trust me. If anything, because I knew that was Spanish for cheese. That's what. If anything, that made that even funnier. I just wanted to show that for a second there. All right, but there you go. Just a little thing for those wondering.
Besides that, I think is that's the only thing that I can think in any other thing that we wanted to add. I think I am really happy with it.
Yeah, I think in regards to voiceover, Kelp and I did a lot of improv together with Silver and Blaze, trying to figure out we could figure out this romantic scene together, but we ended up cutting that. Francisco, Megu, and Courtney, is there anything you would like to add?
No, can't think of anything.
No problem. I'm guessing.
I really wanted to sing in the end credits, but my Japanese wasn't up to the task.
Oh.
So I ended up calling my father-in-law, who has, as I told you guys, the singer is my fiance, Joanna. Of course, she and her father have sang along for their whole life. So I was like, "Hey, Pablo, can you come and sing these lines in Japanese for me, because I'm not getting it." And he did a fantastic job. He also was kind enough to record the bass and the guitars. So it was a whole family effort, and the end result was great.
Oh yeah.
I hope you know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
No. You go first. Go ahead.
I hope you know, Francisco, that is, when I go back to that video, the credits with that song, that's the part I watch and listen to the most. I pretty much have that on loop all the time.
Yeah. And I know I was mentioning
I'm so
earlier.
happy. I'm so happy to hear that. It makes me really happy.
Absolutely. And I was mentioning earlier how those credits, and I cannot speak, that end credit music, for whatever reason, always finds a way to get me teary-eyed, and I'm a grown man. That is very difficult for me to do with a freaking silvaze comic dub. You understand me? So that is a feat in itself.
Well, we actually had people. So when we were finalizing everything, we did a quality check. So we showed the video to people who were Japanese and Chinese, and who had a great knowledge about Chinese and Japanese culture. And we had people saying, "Oh my gosh, this brought back so many childhood memories." The song did, because it's a nursery, kind of like a nursery rhyme. It's a children's song about Tanabata, and we had people commenting like, "Yeah, I'm Japanese, and this brought back so many memories for me." So it was really meaningful to a lot of people.
Yeah, and it was definitely a very unique, holiday to do chosen too, because I definitely know pretty much from because it's a holiday not very well known outside of Japan. So it's I barely even knew what it was. I barely even knew what Tanabata was the first time I had read the comic.
I
had no
never even
idea.
heard of it before this comic.
Yeah. So I actually do. So that is definitely something that I gotta give y'all mass kudos for is bringing awareness to that holiday, because there's literally unless you're because it's one of those things like literally, unless you're Japanese, you probably would not have been too familiar with that holiday. So it definitely helped make a lot more people aware of it.
It was a really great way to mix because actually Tanabata comes from China. So we got a little help as well from Miyu and her opinions about it. It was really great for the dub. So it was really great, all the help and everyone who called due their contribution to the dub.
Gotcha. It's actually good you mentioned. It's actually good you mentioned that too, because I had yeah, like I said, this is definitely the thing. This is definitely something that's good. That's a great thing about this comic is that like I said, I can't even act like I even knew what Tanabata was before this comic. So there you go. It did its job.
Oh, we had one of the moms. So I have a friend. He's Japanese American, and so we had his mom come watch it. She was like, "I'm so surprised. Everybody in people in America want to know about this, or doing the stories." Like, "Oh no. This is not just Americans. We have everybody from all over the world putting their heart into this project." And she was so touched that everybody here was a part of this and had a hand in this. So it became a global thing, and we were so lucky to have that.
Of course. But I believe I'm trying to remember. We basically got everybody from that question we had earlier, didn't we? Just trying to make sure. Oh yeah, I'm just sorry, Sydney.
so.
I'm just trying to make sure we pretty much got everybody from that.
I
for that
think
question,
so.
didn't we?
Feel free to speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yes. I just had to make sure because I lost that because I had lost track. But that's all right. Sorry, what were you about to say? Something real?
No. I'm just.
Oh, gotcha. All right. But anyways, I don't want to take too much time. Courtney, would you like to pick the next person in the little request to speak thing?
Okay. How about Tiny Shy Hog?
Yeah, right. Hello.
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
Your mic's cutting in and out there.
This is surprising to be honest.
I was.
Give me a minute. I need to catch my breath.
Was that even English?
I'm sorry. As I said, I'm just nervous. Okay.
No, we're all people here, bro. It's all good.
I know.
Well, you're gonna be a little closer to your mic than that, bro.
I'm sorry. Okay, so my question honestly was for SNT. Is she still here?
Yes, they.
Yep.
Yes, they are. They're one of the guests, so there you go.
Yeah. So first off, I just want to say before I start my question, I just want to say SNT that you were one of my biggest artist inspirations. So I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work.
Oh, thank you.
And my question for you is, what other type of animal would your OC be if it wasn't how it is today?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe a deer. Because I like deer. I actually had a persona when I was really into My Little Pony. I had a persona that was a deer. So it was probably a deer. Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you for the question there, Tiny. And make sure next time to keep your question relevant to the panel. Because that's that. It pays to know when to read, but that's weak in this. But that's okay. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that, and also Sergeant Gerbil unfortunately had to bail, but it's understandable. It's almost 3 a.m. for him, so just thank you so much for coming on. But anyways, Maggie, would you like to pick the next audience member? It's completely fine if not. I have no problem picking the next person if you'd like.
Miku, I don't know what kind of device you're on, but if you're on desktop, at the top right, you'll see a hand raised with like little numbers by it, and it will show requests.
Yeah.
And then a panel will pop out.
Yeah, and if not, it's totally fine. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just wanted to make sure I gave everyone.
You can pick.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't want to pressure you or anything. I was just giving everybody an opportunity. I guess I'll go ahead and get VG Jedi up.
Oh my gosh! I've been trying so hard. I've been trying so hard not to cry for like most of that video. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat this anymore. I know that this question has kind of already been answered, but I'm just very generally curious for Cindy and for anyone else that I would like to answer as well. As the thematic elements and like how it's framed and written, immediately reminded me of like the classic Disney princess tale, like Cinderella, etc. Like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid, Mulan, and etc. If you were you kind of inspired by the Disney princess aesthetic and elements while being inspired by Tanabata itself, and also since Joe Hisaishi was mentioned as well, were you also inspired by Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli?
That's a great question. So from the director standpoint, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I did look a lot at different princess movies. I was like, I really want to envelop like the 90s princess movies, like The Swan Princess especially was one that came to mind a lot. So Gerbil and I worked together a lot to kind of bring this princess aspect. Like if I were a little girl to watch this again, like what would I want to see? So we did actually take a ton of inspiration from princess movies, from the editing all the way to the music especially. So yeah, definitely. The Swan Princess, the opening was a direct inspiration from The Swan Princess, which is a great film, by the way. You all should see it.
Nice.
Does anybody else want to add? I know, Francisco, I was like, can we do princess movies? Grab the Ellen Menken and...
Yes, it was a huge inspiration, and when Sydney told me she wanted to give it that vibe, that Disney Ghibli princess vibe, and she actually gave me some demos of, and there was she handed the first clip of the Swan Princess, and I was like, oh my god, I had forgotten I had seen that, like, I don't know, 25 years ago, and it was like, I saw this when I was a child. It just popped a lot of memories. It was really well done, and I was like, now I want to watch it again. Yes, it was definitely an inspiration.
I think the writing itself was just based on Tanabata. I don't think we got an extra inspiration about Disney. But yeah, I know it was very into the Disney tone when it comes to the music and the dub in general. It was really nice.
Absolutely. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, basically. I was just like generally curious, like.
Oh, it's
I'm so glad you brought that up because that means we did our job.
Yay!
That was the goal we were going for. So yes, I'm so grateful.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for. I'm sorry. Were you about to say something, VG? I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say that that like everyone I was just about to say that everyone did like such a masterclass job. Did like such a masterclass job of with what they did, and just and also yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, VG.
Yeah. Have yourselves a great day, and also a happy Tanabata.
Happy Tanabata.
Alrighty. I know we have an extra co-host coming up because Rio actually had to step out for personal reasons. So I'll go ahead and get my fill-in co-host for me, Blue Jolts VA, come on up. But in the meantime, I guess would you like to? I guess in the meantime, I'll go ahead and get a different person up here. Go ahead and get I'm gonna go ahead and get Goken-san up.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How's everyone doing?
Doing awesome.
Hello, hey Sydney. How have you been? It's been a while. You should have come yesterday. We all had a really good time in Cartoon Night, and it was actually an honor to stream your work that you put a lot of effort into, and I really loved it.
Oh, thank you for streaming it.
Oh, absolutely. So it is my pleasure. So I don't have much questions, but I only have one. I'm actually really curious to know about, will there be even like more Princess and the Cowherder in the future? Like, have you planned any or is this the only video that you have made?
So as of right, no, go ahead, Gabs. You and Meku were the authors of that one.
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to add that the comic is one shot, so I'm not sure if we're going to explore it again. I remember, but this is something that I didn't mention to Sydney or anything, but I kind of wanted to bring a little spin when the dub was in process, thinking, oh yeah, I can post this at the same time as the dub as a little fun spin to the story in the end. But since I'm really busy, just as Megu, I didn't want to bring that up so much. So maybe in the future I could do some doodles about it. But aside the Princess and the Cowherder, I think if we're going to do more projects in the comic aspect with Megu, we were doing a Christmas one, but we wrote this story 3 years ago. We were doing calls to define the story and everything. Megu already did all the concept art of it, but so far we couldn't really sit and define the comic pages. Is there? We have the story, everything. We just need some time, and yeah, it's been very. We were very busy lately. That's why we weren't finishing that one comic, and it seems it's going to be a little longer, but it's really nice. Maybe we can finish it soon, or maybe we can like release some pages of it. Of course, once again, we are since the this comic of Tanabata was more about Marine and Cream doing all the stuff. In the next comic is more focused on Blaze and Silver. So I hope we can finish this and show it soon, at least some pages. But yeah, that's the plan so far. But yeah, you can add Sydney. that's the thing we have planned it, but of course, you see how life is lately. I hope we can do something.
I see. Well, it's good to know. Yeah, man. It was actually really not. I actually enjoyed listening to what you just said, and yeah, whatever you did recently, like few weeks ago when we played it. Congratulations on the premiere and the release. So, really looking forward to what you all have, and yeah, it was actually nice speaking to you all. And I'll head off to the stage.
Yeah.
Great question.
I'm not sure if Sydney wanted to add something. You can
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, let's do that first. Yeah, let's do that first.
Yeah, I guess in regards to the future comic dubs, that's a good question. I don't know if we'll do something like this again, but I would love to. So as of right now, that is unknown.
Any chance I have to work with any of these people again is always welcomed, and I will immediately jump at the chance.
I mean,
for sure.
I agree with you on that. Because I'm basically the same. I'm basically the same way. I will work with this woman in anything. I have no problem.
Every talent that was on this project, I would work with them in a heartbeat, and if I could, and I would do it over and over again. But as of right now, there are no plans at the moment.
But between me and the audience, please go right now and listen Exploding Hearts written by Sydney on YouTube. You need to hear the telenovela between Silver and Blaze right now. Oh my gosh.
I did mention that yesterday. Silver is a hot hedgehog, and who also has a hot theme song.
To give context, Kelp and I one time in the Sonic Revo panel, we were challenged to improv a soap opera scene, and
whose line is it? There was a panel.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember this. I was there.
Yes, and then we made a sequel. So many shenanigans will come out of that. So if you need your silvaze fix, that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. We made the sequel for the silvaze weekend, which was a lot of fun to record.
Grab your cup of coffee because that's going to be a show that you're never going to want to miss.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, did that properly answer your question there, Goken?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was originally playing Lula State until everyone was talking more, but yeah, it's good. But thanks for answering.
Absolutely. Thank you, Goken. All right. Since Blue Jolts, since you just came in, would you like to pick the next person for me?
Let's go with JP.
All right, Oh, I didn't even see that one.
JPP5.
Oh yeah, it didn't show it on my end for some reason. But there you go, JPB5. How's it going?
Hello, how y'all doing? How you doing, Blue Jolts?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good, bro.
Absolutely. So my question is for Megu and Gabs Sam. And my question is, was there a difference in your approach to making this large project compared to, let's say, just like a single panel comic or a doodle, for example? Or was your approach relatively the same?
I think we approached it at the same time, but since we were working very together, I'm not sure what's on Mego size because the word was like this. We co-written the story in Spanish, and we got like this 3-4 images with the script, and then I think we did another call where when we were realizing that the pace wasn't as good as we thought. I remember we started to talk to separate the script into pages. Like, yeah, this is going to be into one page and this other into another. And then we again, between those lines, we started to say, this part is going to be a panel. And we started to see, right, panel by panel, what is going to happen. And since it was kind of an experiment and we were doing this for the first time, later we started to add some panels and trying to reduce some pages. So she told me what she is thinking about it, and I told her what I was thinking about the comic itself, including the acting and all the details that have to be in the final product. So I think we are so close into what we were working that I'm not sure if she wanted. There wasn't a different approach that we didn't. It's really difficult to explain. I don't think there was anything else that we wanted to do in the comic, since we were working really close together.
Okay, so like the team chemistry just worked out perfectly, I guess.
Yeah,
Awesome.
really fun. I
Awesome.
hope we can do the other comic like that. I mean, maybe soon we're going to have news or something. But yeah, it's really nice to work with someone you have like, yeah, we are on the same page, literally.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's the thing.
I was going to say exactly that we were in the same page all the time. Like, I mean, making a full comic is way harder than just a panel, but we understood each other very, very well. So everything went smoothly. We took our time, but it came out great at the end.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Well, yeah, that answers my question. Thank you so much.
Question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead and move them down. All right. Francisco, would you like to pick the next person? Or
Sure thing. Let's go with Cutie Cat.
all right. Cutie Cat, come on up. Yellow, I can't hear you. How's it going? It's a very insightful. I'm just joking. It's
Hello?
like there we go. Let's get him back up. Hold
Oh my god.
No, you good. You good. Let's try this again. Take 2. Discord, everyone.
Hello?
How's it going?
Hello.
Again?
Am I heard?
Yes. I can.
Am I too loud or too quiet?
No, it sounds fine to me now. So
All right. I had to mentally prepare myself because I cried like 4 times during this panel.
oh no, I get it. Trust me, the dub made me cry, and I'm a grown man. So it's
All right, but All right, but anyway, hello to everyone. This whole entire project was immaculate. I've cried in a pillow for like 3 minutes straight after watching it the first time.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway, my question to everyone, since this whole project is done, what are your thoughts on the whole Tanabata story and/or holiday?
It's really nice. I think with the project I learned way more about it. In fact, I remember, I think it was like before or after that in my country they did some celebration of Tanabata. That the day it has to be, of course. And it was really nice going there and learning more about it. I think I really like to learn all this cultural stuff about different countries because there's so many great stories. They tell there is great stories each country has, and I really like that. And I'm not sure. I think I hope I can experience that once in Japan in some form. I hope I can do that the same way Sydney did. I think Sydney can talk more about this because she got very close, way more closer to this than me in this uh, in this way.
Yeah, so Tanabata, I'm a big romantic already, if you couldn't gathered already. So, learning about Tanabata, I remember going to Japan and my friend was like, "Oh, we're going to a Tanabata festival." I was like, "Oh, cool, what's that?" And then as we learned about it, I remember going there and it was just this, it was in Osaka and they had this festival set up and you could like buy a wish, you could say. So it's a piece of paper and you tie it to a bamboo tree. So you write out a wish and tie it to a bamboo tree. And for me, that was such a magical thing to do while I was in Japan. And then so when Gabs and Megu came out with their comic, that meant even more. So this is a holiday that is near and dear to my heart, and the reactions and people talking to me about, wow, like I didn't know, like this brings back memories, or like my friend's mom was like, wow, I didn't know people would be so interested in my culture, where everybody became such a global project, and I think for me, Tanabata will always be a special thing in my heart, especially because of this project. Kelp, do you have any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool to kind of delve into like the story behind the festival itself. And for one, I am majorly jealous that you have been to Japan and you've been
Same.
to a festival.
Same here.
Because that would be incredible to experience. So I'm very jealous of that. But anyway, yeah, I think it's just so cool to see how like the cultural significance of the story was adapted in a form relating to Sonic. And it was just great to be a part of that. Honestly, I think it was really cool. So yeah, that's all I can really say about it. Also, man, I really want to go to Japan.
Oh,
Do
take
it.
me with.
Same here.
Take me with.
Do it.
Same here.
I need it too.
Absolutely, trust me.
We can carpool.
Trust me, if
A
I
non-car ride.
Carpooling would work to an island.
yeah, I was about to say this ain't the magic school bus. You're gonna need to fly there.
Josh, you just have to believe, though. You need to believe.
All you gotta do is just grow a pair of wings and then just jump into the air and believe you can fly.
Listen, cruising on down Main Street.
Make
Relax.
the car levitate.
I believe I can fly, cruising on
down
Main Street.
Yo, relax, you're feeling good. Anyway. Anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
Francisco and Megu, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, me personally, I knew about it. I didn't know a lot. I had to read. I didn't know the song, for example. I knew there was some. It was some kind of festivity. I didn't know it was such a huge deal in Japan, and it also it Japan is it's like a has been for a long time a pending trip for us. So we are planning if we can. We would love to experience it firsthand. So it really was an opportunity to learn. It was on top of a great job with the team. It was a learning opportunity. It's always fun to learn about other cultures. It was really a thing I personally want to experience firsthand in Japan.
Sure.
Nice.
All right. Is there anything you'd like to add, Megu, or if not, it's completely fine. Oh, there we go.
I want to visit Japan too.
We all want. We have to go there.
We can take a levitating carpool there.
Yeah, no, magic school bus. You heard me?
Insert a whole new world theme playing in the background while you're on flying cars.
I can show you the world.
Wrong
We should
French.
have-
I'm kidding.
We should have Francisco's soundtrack playing while we fly there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just on loop.
Just have the closing theme on loop endlessly until you get to
I was more thinking of life could be a dream while you're just on a plane flying over to Japan.
I'm sticking with my first one.
Alrighty.
Anyways, thank you, cutie cat.
Thank you for bringing me up here. I hope for the next Tanabata, I hope the skies are clear. And one more thing, it is not hypothetical. Good night, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bruh.
But it's 12 in the morning. I mean afternoon. Wait, no.
It's
That
12.
joke was ruined.
It's 12 in the morning somewhere. It's probably like about 3 or 4 a.m. where Gerbil was, which is why he had to leave.
Right.
But anyways, we have about 4 hands up. So yes, we still got time because like I mentioned earlier, due to the technical difficulty that was happening earlier, I decided to extend the panel out of respect for our guests. I'll go ahead and see. Ryan the Tenrick, come on up.
Good morning.
Morning. Well, afternoon over here technically, but
for me, it's morning during the mountain time range zone.
Oh, there you go. Then yeah, that actually was a correct statement. I'm gonna stop talking. What's your question?
I do have 2 questions, but you prefer one question, don't you?
If we have time, you can ask the second one later. Just ask the first one for now.
Right. It's for everyone. What do you think of the Sonic movie franchise?
I heard my name. I heard Sonic movie.
Bruh.
Me, I prefer the second Sonic movie to be slightly better.
This is technically not. I'm about to say this isn't really related, but that's okay. I'm sorry, but since you asked, I don't want to stop you. Also, go right ahead, Sydney.
I was to say, Gabs, you can go first.
Oh, the question was about the Sony movies.
Yeah, it was it wasn't even remotely relevant to the question to the panel, but that's not your fault. I just didn't want. I'm just being polite. If y'all want to answer that, you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for Shadow in the next movie. If the ask is about the Sonic movies, yeah, I'm waiting for Shadow. Sorry. I really like it. I like it the first and the second one. The second one was kind of disappointing because I think Twitter spoiled all the movie before before anything of it was a surprise. So that's why I didn't enjoy so much. But I did enjoy seeing Knuckles in action. I really like when he punched Sonic and he's like he goes through the wall and all that. That was my favorite part.
I love the passion that you can tell that a lot of the people that behind it really, really care. And I think it's really cool that the Sonic movies have been able to lay the groundwork to make very high quality video game movies.
That is very true. And I mean, Jeff Fowler, the director, worked on the CGI cutscenes for Shadow, so like they had people familiar with the Sonic world working on it. So that is definitely something that they, whether you like the movies or not, you can't deny that there was work put into it. Yeah.
I was really lucky to get into the premiere of the first movie here in my country, because turns out people who were close to me got me tickets to go there. So I was the very first person watching that, and at the same time, I think they got me some gift, a present from the second one. So it was really a nice time. I think the movie was surprisingly good. The very first one, when we didn't have so much hope for it to be good, I think I enjoy it, of course. But yeah, that's my opinion in general.
Yeah. Alrighty. But But anyways, with this, yes, like, but yeah, to the person asked that question, that was vastly irrelevant. But we had some people that were willing to answer, I'm gonna let it slide for that one.
Francisco Mega, did you want to add anything?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. Not super enjoy them, but I enjoyed them, especially the first one. I think what I enjoyed the most was the whole redesign power of the people for the design of Sonic. I loved that, but I wasn't really. I loved the Knuckles in the second one, but that's all. I really didn't like. Oh my god, this is what I needed in my life. I'll stick to the animated shows anytime.
That's entirely fair. Anyways, let's move on from that one to preferably a more panel relevant question, but y'all handled that really well. Let's go ahead and let's see. Since I see my boy Noah's hand up, I'm gonna get him up here.
Hi everyone.
How's it going?
Good. I was a little tired, but now I feel a little more awake now, so I just wanted to check in. How is everyone in this panel?
Doing good. Mission accomplished.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. I was gonna try to ask Gerbil a question, but I think he left already. But I could probably ask Cindy this since
Sure.
So I do remember watching a bit of editing progress from the Archita server, but how long did you think it took, like editing progress of the comic?
That's a good question. So I approached Gerbil, I think it was in February of this year. So this product has been cooking for about, I think, 4 to 5 months, if I'm not mistaken. From start to finish, I would say about 4 months. And Gerbil and I were in that process the whole time. So yeah, I would say about 4 to 5 months at least.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah. Thank you for answering my question.
Of course. Thank you.
Right. See ya.
See you, Noah. All right, and I do know that there are a couple text questions that I wanted to bring up, just which because there was a couple I wanted to make sure that I got to. I guess I cannot speak. Blue Jolts, would you like to read the text question for that Dino Kaiju left? It should be in the pinned messages on the our show discussion. If not, then that's completely fine. I can read it. I'll just go ahead and read it. All right. Let's see. For everyone, would you consider the comic dub to be, in a way, educational for those who don't know what Tanabata is? I ask this due to that I have heard of the word Tanabata before in various video games like Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, but I never got the full context on what it meant before watching the dub. Wow, that's a mouthful. But
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that it has all the accurate ones because, of course, the original story didn't have flickies, or they weren't. When we were doing the story, we tried to explain. There is a lot of version of the story. First, originally it was from China. They call it Kichi there. I think that's how it's pronounced. And it's Tanabata in Japan. And they even have two different dates. Tanabata is in July and Kichi is in August, from what I remember. And there is many version of the story. So we try to get the basic elements in trying to adapt it to Sonic. So I guess just like what you are going to see in anime, because I remember when we were doing the research, we see many animes doing some kind of reference or parodies of the tale. So I believe it's just going to be as accurate as those ones because we were trying to be in that level where it's creative, but at the same time it has many elements from the original story. So I think that's how I will take it. Of course, uh, like I mentioned it before, there were some stories where it says that. Uh, Orihime walked on the verse to get to Hikoboshi. So we didn't want to do that because we didn't want Blaze to be stepping on flickies. So and there's another story where Orihime floats with the verse, and that's something that it was kind of out of what we wanted to do. So we were looking at different version and trying to pick what's the best to tell our story. So yeah, that's how I see the writing of the tale, and yeah, that's how it is.
awesome. Is there anything else anybody else would like to add, or if not that's completely fine. I just wanted to make sure.
I think one of the most accurate elements has to be Sydney's decision of adding the children's song that was really sweet at the end of the dove. Yeah, she can talk more about that, of course.
Oh yeah, go
Oh,
go
yeah.
go for it.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I think it would be educational for other people. I had a lot of comments are like, "Wow, I've never heard of this before. I can I didn't know about this legend," and people from Japan and China being so excited to see this being portrayed. I would say it's an educational thing, and it opens the door for people to explore it at least. And then, of course, Francisco makes the best cover of Tanabata-sama that I've ever heard. He's got I listen to a lot of Tanabata sama covers, and his is the best. I can confidently say that. To bring that all together was just awesome. But yeah, I would say it's a great way to open the door to learn more about Chinese and Japanese culture.
Awesome. Also, words. I had a stroke for a second there. I'm good now. We got time for one more. To bring one more person up. Blue Jolts, would you like to call somebody up? Let's see. I know. Let's get somebody that hasn't been called up. Would you like to do the honors, Blue Jolts? Yellow? Are you there? Going once, going twice. I guess not. I'll go ahead and call them up then. I saw that let's see. Go ahead and call this one last person up, and that'll be the last person. Yellow? Can't hear you. Let's see. All right, okay, I'll try. Oh, okay, there we go. Now we hear you.
How's everyone going? How's every day?
Good.
Doing well.
Hey.
My question is for Sydney. What is your favorite memory about Tanabata?
Oh, that's tough. And Tanabata, when I was in Japan, I remember going through that festival, and I just was in awe of everything. It was such a beautiful display everybody put up, and it was so well done. It was very surreal and a moment in my life that I'll always treasure. And then in regards to this project, Gabs and Mega graciously giving me a copy of the comic and putting so much hard work into giving me that just meant the world. So I would say those two are my top.
Did that properly answer your question?
Yeah. Does anyone else want to add to my question?
If they want to, they're more than welcome to.
I don't really have anything to add, but yeah, I think the Tanabata Festival is really cool, and I'd love to be able to experience it sometime.
Same here.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. No, you're fine. You're fine. Was there something you were about to add there? Or?
No, sorry. I was just fixing a couple of stuff.
You're fine. Anyways, all right. Thank you for your question.
No problem. And arigatou gozaimasu.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. I have very basic levels of Japanese, so
He said, "Thank you very much."
Yeah, I knew that. That's like one of the 5 phrases I do know. But
Mochiron, arigatou gozaimasu.
There you go.
Of course, thank you.
Alrighty, all right. But anyways, we're just about running out of time here. Before we wrap things up, is there for all our guests here, is there anything y'all would like to add before we wrap things up?
Thank you very much for coming here, and I'm really happy with both projects. I'm really proud of how far it went, and at the same time, very happy it brings something people can like. I'm really proud of what Sydney did with the project and all the talents that were contributing to the project. Of course, it was every single step of both both projects was absolutely amazing. I have so much fun. It's been very fun months looking at the progress in everything, and I'm really thankful for everything. And I hope we can work together in the future. And thank you for tolerating my voice. Sorry, but yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone that's listening as well for the love and support.
Absolutely. Well deserved, by the way. Is there. Oh, go right ahead, Sydney. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Thank you everybody for coming, and all of the support that has been for this project. Everybody here deserves the support and following. Please, the talent here is world class, and I'm so lucky to have worked with so many people, and I would work with all of them again. They are absolutely amazing and deserve that recognition. So thank you, and thank you, Sonic Revo, for having us as a guest. We are so excited to do this.
Absolutely. Yes. Megu Kelp and Francisco. If any of y'all would like to add anything, feel free.
I just want to say thanks for tuning into the panel. Thanks for having me. Usually I'm one of the people who's doing voice acting or helping the host panel, so it's nice to be a guest every once in a while.
Yeah.
And just thank you for tuning in. Share the video with your friends, and it's always a pleasure to see people's reactions to it. I love hearing that it made people happy, made people cry. It's great. I'm glad that it's emotionally resonant with so many people. But yeah, and of course, thank you to all of my fellow talents who worked so hard on this. It was great. And thank you, Sydney, once again for having me as your voice of silver for this.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yes, go right ahead.
Just nothing that hasn't been said before, like thank you. Just that, a big thank you, not to everyone listening, and to all the cast and director and the artists and voice actors, everyone involved in this project. It was really an amazing experience. Best gig in this year so far, by far. I really hope we can do something again, because it really was a pleasure. It truly was a pleasure. And I'm really happy to be part of it. So thank you, everyone. Big thank you to everyone involved and to everyone listening.
Yes, absolutely. And how about you, Megu? Is there anything you would like to potentially throw in?
Yes, thanks to everyone for the support. We will work hard to bring you more comics.
Awesome. And yes, I will be sharing the comic dub in the description of the YouTube stream whenever it goes live, and I will also be linking the video in the our show description. Everyone give a big round of applause for our guest this morning. And all right. So, oh, my phone fell off as soon as I said that. That was great. I'm just kidding. But of course,
timing is impeccable.
Yes, my timing is impeccable, which thank you for Blue Jolts coming in the last second to fill in for my co-host RioDies, who unfortunately had to dip for personal reasons. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, and of course, big thanks to our guests here, Gabs Sam, Sydney, Blue Moon 88, Kelp, Megu, Francisco, and of course, Sergeant Gerbil and Courtney or Project S&T were here earlier, but they unfortunately had to dip. It was like, it's entirely understandable in the case of Gerbil. It's like close to 3-4 a.m. in the morning over there. So I thank y'all so much for coming, and our next panel will be Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I'm actually going to be hosting that one as well with my good buddy Chris for our second Team Chaotix panel. So make sure to stay tuned for that. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Monday, the 18th. So, all right. See y'all then. And that concludes the panel. Good night, everybody. Oh, good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Y'all have a very good day.
Absolutely.